Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to today's next level session. Up on the screen here, what have we? We have our little itinerary for this week. Just a refresher, we did do the last 2 days a free report designed for FSBOs called 7 Marketing Tactics that will help you sell your house without paying an agent's commission. We built out that report. We built out a little follow-up sequence for people who opt in to that report in kvCORE. We have a landing page going for it. Show you that right here. And basically we've built a funnel for attracting FSBOs. And we've integrated the lead capture. We've used kvCORE for the lead capture and for some of the follow-up. Now, we also yesterday ran a Facebook and Google ad as well for this. I can't remember, did I actually push those live? It'd be cool to see if we've gotten any clicks on that yet. So we can take a peek at that now. Let's take a peek. Did I? Oh, bummer. I had some ad set errors. So I'll have to let you guys know last week. I wonder what those errors were. Something was wrong with the ad. And that happens sometimes when I'm doing this stuff live, like I skip over or miss something that Facebook wants. So I'll get that fixed and we'll see how the ad did next week. So what I was hoping to do today to kind of continue this line of thinking was to add on an additional source of traffic for this. And that source of traffic is going to be mail, snail mail, postal mail, right? And if you think about it, this is probably the traffic source that makes the most sense for FSBOs, other than maybe knocking on the door, right? Or calling a number that they have on the sign. But we can use direct mail to reach out to the FSBO, to the owner, and offer them both our free report, and I have here a note about, hey, if I find a buyer, would you be willing to pay a commission? If yes, I'll add my property to my email to buyers. You can make an offer. So what I was going to show today, we're going to hop into the thanks.io platform, which is available from the marketplace. If you want to go create an account from the kvCORE marketplace, and just show kind of an example of what this might look like if you were to do a direct mail campaign. So here I am in thanks.io. I did a little work before the session today, so I don't know how well you guys can see this, but I created a note card in thanks.io. And the script basically says, hi, if you're thinking about selling your Pinellas County area home and you want to try doing it on your own so you can avoid paying an agent's commission, scan the QR code below. When you scan the QR code, you'll be taken to a detailed report that explains 7 marketing tactics you can use to find a buyer fast. If you have any questions about the tactics, feel free to call or text me anytime. So, there's a little signature there. Now, to get the QR code in, I'm simply going to either link to that landing page, which is right here. So I could use this as my landing page. Oh, that's the wrong one. That was a different one we've done in the past. Or with thanks.io's QR codes, I'll explain this in a minute, I could actually directly link to this report. So I could copy the link and directly send them there. And what's interesting about doing that is that you'll actually be notified anytime somebody scans that code. So just keep that in mind. But I'm going to go ahead, I'll link this for demo's sake to the landing page right here. So let's go like that. Put that link in, and click out, and a QR code should magically appear here in just a second. Where are you, QR code? Here. Sometimes it wants you to. There we go. There we go. See, it's right down there at the bottom. So that's the inside of the note card. It comes in a sealed envelope with like a handwriting on the front part. So I'll save that template, that message. And then the image that I built for this, I kept it very simple. It's this one right here. So it's just, this is kind of like when they get the card, it's the front side. And I just used the yellow background and some text. And basically the thinking here is that anybody who is actively selling their house, if they're a FSBO, they're probably going to be curious about this, right? 7 marketing tactics for trying to sell their house. There's a good chance we get the scan if we're sending it to somebody who is actually trying to sell their house now. If we're sending it more as like a kind of just blanket thing, right? We're just randomly trying to find people who might want to sell. This would also be appropriate. You could try that, right? You could have people, and it could be a good lead in to your services, or it could kind of prompt people to think about selling more, and you could get some scans there. So the response rate on this will vary based on whether you're sending it directly to a FSBO or just sending it to general homeowners in your area. So that's what I came up with. I really like these kind of designs here where you don't really fuss with images or anything. Josh Shanley is doing a lot of his stuff. I know a lot of real estate investor type people use these yellow backgrounds. It's just cool. It's just a headline. I like using ugly arrows, and I put in blue, a little extra instruction. But it took me like 5 minutes to make in Canva, and then I just click save, and it flies right into Thanks.io. Question about the specs on the image. If you use Canva, it just brings it straight in for you. If you want to upload it, it depends if you're sending a postcard or a note card in Thanks, but if you do the upload, it tells you right here. So it would be 1800 by 1313 is the recommended size, and on postcards, it's a little different. You could have done the same thing by postcard. I like the idea of of doing a note card because it feels sort of like a wedding invitation, especially if you're only doing one at a time to a FSBO. You have a better chance of it getting opened, and it'll probably feel a little more polished than the postcard. So Doug, yeah, the last session's recorded. Just go to insiderealestate.com/webinars, and the first 2 sessions this week are recorded. They should be showing up right up top here. Yeah, parts 1 and 2 are right there, and then we'll get this one on there shortly as well. So Thanks.io integrates with Canva. Yeah, it's just Patricia, you just go to create. If I do design note card or gift card, it just links to your Canva account, and then you design what you want to send, and then you click save, and it pulls it into Thanks.io. So that's how I went about this. First, I built the image, then I built the message. So let me name this so that I can show you guys how to send this 7 FSBO. And then when I'm ready to send this to a specific FSBO, I can just click the send now button and walk through the wizard. Note card, pick the image, pick my message template. There we go. Kind of flies out there. Save and continue. And then I just add the address of the FSBO right here. And send. So that would be sort of the manual way to do that, right? To do this. So if now, the other way I could go about this is I could build a Zap in Zapier that pushes people that sends this card automatically when I add them to kvCORE. So we've done a number of webinars about Zapier, but you can tie kvCORE to Thanks.io via Zapier, and maybe add a contact and their address to your kvCORE system, and have a smart campaign flyer that sends this card out too. So just know that is a possibility. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of that right now. We've done a lot of sessions on building those zaps, but it's just a matter of tying the 2 together with the Zap. And actually, not to rip you guys off here, but we did a whole session on this in the past that I can just drop the link to now, which is what I'll do. So just basically how to build that Zap and link to Thanks.io. I know I've done this, so handwritten. Here it is. So for those of you watching live, I'll share this over, and it's just called How to Trigger Handwritten Note Cards with kvCORE. And I'll show you how to build out that Zap. But I want to stick to sort of the theme here, which is we're doing this so that we can generate FSBO business. And one scenario would be you're just sending these manually, like so. You just go in, you have your template and your image built, send them out. Or you can automate that process as you add them to your CRM. So Doug is asking for these images to swipe and deploy. They're not really in a library, but I'll put these in the next level members area, and I can drop you the image now just so you have it. This, really all I did was just put some text there. So can I do this? Can I save it? No, I can't save it from there. That's a bummer. I thought I could just save the image. I have to grab it in Canva. Oh, I'm terrible at this. How do I save this card? How do I save it? Here. All right. Here's a screenshot of this card. I'll include this in the next level members area though. That's the actual image. If you're going to do this, Doug, our team can help you get this done. And then the script, I'll put both of these in the next level members area, but the script I can just drop to you guys now if you want to. So it's this one right here. Not much to it. Just change my name out for yours. Now, I don't know 1,000% that this is going to work, but I have a good feeling that it will. Especially if it's the FSBO, somebody who is selling in there, even if they're starting to struggle, they're going to want to know what these 7 tactics are. It's curiosity. What are these, right? And you're probably going to get the scan. What's really cool about the scan is the scan will then email you and notify you that it was scanned, so you know who to follow up with. It'll give you the address and whatever contact info you have in thanks.io. The other thing you can do, just kind of next level, we're getting really geeky here, is you could build a zap that takes anybody who scans this and pushes their contact info into kvCORE. So you can come here and say, all right, let's build a zap. I'm going to find thanks.io as my trigger zap. My trigger event is that somebody scanned the QR code. Oh boy. Oh boy, got a lot of them in here. We build a lot of zaps for people who use the system. I got to find mine. Hopefully that's right. And then anything attached to, whatever the list is. And then I can say, I want any scan, I want that data to go over into kvCORE. And you can build out the zap from there. So you can kind of, create some marketing automation scenarios based on the action. But so bottom line, direct mail is a good source of traffic for this. I would start by doing this one at a time. As you see somebody trying to sell their house on their own, just go send them this. Right? And this is a little better for my money than directly saying, hey, if you need an agent, call me. You're trying to lead with some value and something they might be interested in. Now, the other approach is something that I first kind of learned from Mike Stott from Your Coaching Matters. I know that I don't know if he still does it, but at one point he was sending a message like this, and it went something like, hi, just curious if I brought you a buyer for your house at 123 Main Street, would you be willing to pay a buyer's agent commission? Right? I think he was specific. If I'm right, a 3%. I think he was specific about the amount too. I don't know if that's very important. If yes, please call me at right number. I have a few people actively looking in your neighborhood right now. So you can do this as a postcard or a letter, and that would be doesn't use the whole report and the whole rigmarole we just went through, but it could get the job done too. It's a little more direct, right? So you see a FSBO, you send this. And again, the automation side, maybe I should show you, but in kvCORE, you can add a contact as a FSBO and have this all trigger automatically. Once it's saved in thanks, you can say, just send this card, like so. So for those of you who want to build expired or FSBO systems, I think the big thing for now is to just know that this technology exists as far as mail is concerned. And this idea that you can build a report that would appeal to that audience and then drive them through a kvCORE landing page using Facebook and Google ads and now direct mail is probably the right path to go down if you want to generate this business. And the final thing I kind of had on the itinerary here was zapping leads in from third-party sources like Mojo. So, you could, going back to Zapier, I don't know if I have a Mojo account linked to this. Hopefully I do. So you can say, hey, anytime I move somebody in Mojo into a new group, and that group might be called, Hot FSBO or something. Oh, I don't have Mojo linked. That's a bummer. Okay, I don't have a Mojo account, but you'd say, hey, anytime I decide or that it's a good prospect that I want to chase, go ahead and send them this thanks.io postcard or letter, right? So you can do send postcard, you can add them to a mailing list and send a series. Like so, and you can build out this automation that way. Oh yeah, Doug, you can swipe and deploy this report right here. Yeah, I put that in the members area with the replays for next level, but here's the link now. For anybody who's watching live with me, I'll just give you guys the link. Yeah, swipe and deploy it or just edit it however you want to edit it. All you're going to do is hit file up top and make a copy and pull it into your account. And let me know if you guys find any typos, but I think it's pretty clean. The cards take about a week. So yeah, it's a little, Patricia's asking how long. It takes between 5 to 7 days usually, depending on what time, if you're sending it on a weekend, it takes a little longer. Postal service is closed, but usually within a week they get it. So that is part of the issue with expireds. And we started this week kind of saying, hey, I realize we had a question about FSBOs. I realize that right now there aren't a ton of FSBOs out there, or they're having success or more success than they've historically had because of the way the market is. But with rates coming up and with everything the Federal Reserve is doing, and mortgage interest rates, I don't know, we could see, because there are a lot of people who think they can do it on their own, right? Because of the way the market's been, we could see a cool combination of that, and they start to fail because it's not as easy as it has been. So going into the latter part of this year, I don't know, this could be an opportunity. FSBOs might be a thing again. Don't have a crystal ball, but that seems like it could be a thing. It could get harder to do it on their own. And it would be good to have systems like this in place. And remember, once you build out this funnel, sure, it might take you an hour or two to set up. Getting the messaging out with Facebook and Google, that runs on autopilot, and then sending the mailers once you have all the templates built, it only takes a few minutes when you see a FSBO. You just have call your assistant or leave a message or just pull out your phone, and you could send it from your phone. So Mark's asking, are there any mail campaigns in kvCORE for sellers? You mean like direct mail or email? I think there's some in the library. I did a 7 ways. I actually just showed you guys. So it's in the next level members area, but we did a landing page, this one. 7 tips for getting the highest price possible when selling your Pinellas County home. So we did a series of webinars about this, the same way we're doing for FSBOs. And then there is a campaign in there for that. I don't know if it's in our library. I might have to give you the share code for it. So I can do that now. But if we go to Smart Campaigns, you go to kvCORE library and we search seller. There might be some things that pop up there. There's a few, for expires. I don't know how good they are. And then in my campaigns, let's see if I FSBO. Can't remember what I called it. The selling e-tips course. So this landing page, 7 tips for getting the highest price possible. The campaign that I put on the backside of that is this one right here. And I can give you the share code for that now. So here's that share code. There's some stuff in thanks.io for mailing for sellers. We've done a few webinars. Actually, yeah, I think in the next level members area, I put those in there. We're going to have so much content now. I'm forgetting where everything is. Here we go. I have a direct mail section in here. So direct mail. Oh boy. Yeah, there's a few. And here's what it looks like. Curious about your home's value, want to sell. But no, there's not a ton. It's the most common question we get, and it's what everybody wants to do, but it's not rocket science. It's just, hey, if you're thinking about selling your house and you want a home valuation, let me know. It's kind of quick to set up. So, you know, to build a seller prospecting, like a broad seller prospecting campaign, the steps are fairly straightforward. Click here on send now, pick a postcard design, hook up the Canva. Oh, you guys can't copy and paste out of Zoom, huh? I don't know why Zoom does that. Here. Share campaign for 7 seller tips. Highlight and Control C. Try the Control C, guys. See if that works. Thanks, Matthew. Otherwise, I put it at the bottom of this outline here. And then the landing page for that. Seven tips for getting the highest price possible. So this is a 2-part webinar series we did, I think, in 2021 at some point. And the idea was that you would build an email-based funnel. So the actual thing that you're delivering actually is delivered by email. So when I click get the home tips, oh yeah, that was right after I got my head shaved off. And then it says, hey, thanks for accessing the course. That was my demo in my old office. And then it would send an automatic email that sends them part 1 of that. And now I'm curious about whether, I want to see if it shows up. Hopefully I had it on, maybe not. I might have that set. I don't see it in my email yet, but I might have that set to go out after a few minutes. Now it's immediately, it's on. It triggers by selling tips report. Okay. Where's my email? Oh, I see. I already did it for that. I already tested this for that very contact. I believe that's what happened. I just want to show you guys. This is a different thing, but what the campaign looks like, basically. It's kvCORE. Gets it over to me. There it is. So yeah, then it sends an email like this. And then the series starts. Abigail, on the spam question, the campaign emails, some of that, mine didn't go to spam, by the way. But there's a few things. There's some help articles about that. If you're sending the same canned emails that everybody else is sending from the library, that's never great for spam, because if other people are being reported as spam to Gmail, then, and you're sending the same emails, then that's going to happen. Here's a big article about that. The other thing, there are some things you can do with at the domain level with our system, but I think usually that happens on onboarding. Yeah, that's the share code, Patricia. It's at the bottom of the document. That's what I shared up above. That's the 7 tips for sellers. That's the campaign share. And then earlier this week, I built a campaign for the FSBO stuff we're doing, but there's not really a, that was the first day, but there's not really a campaign for that. It's just 2 emails. It's an email and a text. So there's not much to share there. It's just, hi, thanks for requesting the report. Download the free, you can click here to download the free report now. Also just curious, is your property currently on the market? You know, so I showed all that, and that could be recreated pretty quickly. And if they give you the phone number, it asks them for the address so you can send the home value report. I put the share codes in the next level mastermind in the templates section as we make them usually, but there aren't so many. I've probably made 3 or 4 of those. Guys, what I'm hopeful, that we're doing here is I want to get to a place where you're making your own campaigns. Like the strategy is to create something of value and to create your own content so it's unique and it feels like you who's talking to people. So, and that's a lot of what we're talking about is kind of how to build out these growth systems. And this is the work, but if you want to automate client acquisition, this is how to do it. So it is some work, but using the language that I write in my voice or that anybody else writes in their voice isn't as good as doing your own. But yeah, the only reports, I think I have this one. It's really not many. I have the 1-year campaign that's in the kvCORE library. I think that one's pretty good and could probably be used by almost anybody. It's kind of just a generic 1-year nurture. But I'm sure some people would look at this and be like, I would never write or talk like that. That's not it. So. Okay, just looking to see if there's any other questions here. So hopefully you guys, you found it useful this week to go through this FSBO stuff. Again, along the way, we've kind of touched upon how you can build out funnels and growth systems using kvCORE. Our traffic sources are Google, Facebook. We did some direct mail. We built a nice landing page that gives away this free report. And then this report itself takes the angle that, hey, let's educate that FSBO and let them get the idea that, oh, this stuff is a pain in the butt. I might as well just hire a professional who'll just do all this for me. It's kind of what we're doing. Anything else you guys want to go into related to kvCORE? That kind of wraps up what I had for FSBOs. I'm sure there's 50 other ways to skin the cat, right? One thing I didn't mention, we could also have given the report away via a text code instead of having them scan. So I could have gone in here into the lead engine and then call and text capture and created a code that was like 7 marketing tips like that. Hi, here's that free guide. And then I would link them over to the report. Marketing tips, FSBO. And then in the body of my mailers, I could have said, hey, scan a QR code or click here. So that was another capture point to use in kvCORE. Issue adding custom background to landing pages just turns blue. So you're using a URL, right? You want to send me that URL that you're using or a link to the landing page? Let's test it out. Background, well, what Kelly's referring to is the fact that you can add background images on kvCORE landing pages. And if you click the custom background section here, Cool. Thanks, Doug. Let's see. Funny background. Let's get a funny background. See if we can get Bart on this thing. So custom background. I put the URL of the image. There he is. That's actually, it's kind of a good one. I like it. He's like looking from the right at the content. That's a good. There was I remember Lead Pages, which is a landing page generator. I think it was them, but they had a case study once about they had a woman who was looking at the opt-in box, and they said that conversions went up when they did that. Are you using the image address in here, or are you using the one from the URL up here? That might be part of it. Let's try it. Custom background. So that seemed to have worked. But if you're putting that URL in, that's not an image URL. So you do need the actual link to the image. And the best way to do that is just right click on it and then copy the image address. Yep. And remember, there's a lot of stuff there. Remember, people aren't really gonna, this is how a lot of people will experience that. Because it's on mobile, right? That's what it's going to do, the image. So the text, the details about what you're trying to do, I would just put that in the text of the landing page instead of in the background, because it's not going to be the easiest thing for them to see. And then for the background, I would just use like a cool picture of an image of a listing, or some scenery from the area or something. Cool. Okay. Yeah, no problem, Kelly. That was just a test. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, right click on the image and that'll work. Cool. Let's see. Great, it worked. Good. Yep. Anything else, guys? Is everybody going to try to generate FSBO listings? The FSBOs are like, you don't even need to have that as like a thing that you explicitly do. It's just all of us, you're just driving around and you see the sign, right? Oh, I should grab that and chase that guy later. And the question is, how do you do it in a way that it's not a ton of work, and how do you not forget to do it? So with this technology, I mean, you could even have a little spreadsheet in Google Drive, and you just put the address in, and you could use Zapier to trigger that postcard or that letter that I showed earlier. It's possible to do all this stuff now pretty easily. So you don't have to say, hey, I'm only gonna work FSBOs. It's just as you see them, set up all the infrastructure that we've set up this week and just send it out. Or have somebody at your office who can do it all and just say, hey, I saw FSBO at 123 Main. Go get them, enter them into the system, and the rest can be fired out. Cool. Yeah. And then I'm going to plug Mike Stott. I mentioned him. Your Coaching Matters. Just because he's a friend. I like to see him get business. Oh, his site's down. Oh, that's never good. Actually, I think I saw that happen once before. And I told them, and I think it has to do with, I know what it is. It's www. Yeah, he has to make it work for HTTP. But Mike has a really good, he has some really good content about FSBOs. And apparently a lot of other stuff. So there's a nice webinar on his website. I'll drop you the link. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. I've had his wife on one of these sessions in the past, now that I think about it. But he gives a lot of value in this webinar on the subject of FSBOs, if you guys want to check that out. So there you go. Currently on the background, Kelly, there's no way to adjust that to the darkness of the overlay. The opacity is what it would be. It's like a CSS field, but there isn't currently. I think we actually changed it somewhat to accommodate that request, but there's no like setting for it. Yeah. Okay, guys, I think that's it for the session for today. If there's not a lot of other questions, I'll remind you guys just on the features front that we can now edit behavioral messages. I mentioned this yesterday, but if you go into kvCORE's marketing tools and features, and you go to behavioral automation, you can now edit the content of the emails and texts that automatically go out. That was a feature request we got a lot. It's a very big one. So, you know, when somebody revisits your site after 14 days, so here's the text that goes out now, but I would change this to something like, hi, maybe Tuesday, that's what we'll edit all these, but hi, first name, saw you were back on the site just now. Are you active? Are you ramping up search for a home or just browsing? Something like that. And you can play with these and see what happens. But that's awesome that we have this flexibility now, right? Or if they view a property 3 times, what are we? Yeah, this is all. I don't know who wrote these guys. I think it was for like the year that I didn't work at the company. I would have, you know, not my style. But you know, so if somebody viewed property 3 times, might be hi, first name, saw you were checking out of that one listing on the site a few times. Want me to set up an appointment to look at it in person? I think these should feel very like you just typed it out, right? It should feel very casual, like you just typed it out on your computer. I mean, on your phone, you texted it. So definitely check those out this weekend. Maybe make that a little project. Go and edit your behaviorals. And we'll see you Tuesday at 2 p.m. And of course, as always, 2 plugs. 1, check out the marketplace if you need push button leads. Check out Property Boost, and definitely check out our Smart Social Leads. That's a really cool Facebook product that's been revamped and is working really well for people. And then if you have any questions in the meantime, or about kvCORE or whatever strategy, just go to our Facebook group and pop them in there. And we'll keep an eye on that, respond in there. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. Talk soon. The replay will be on YouTube.